Yo, what's up, everybody? This is Matty Ice with Profit Props back again. Episode, I don't know. We've been doing this for a while now. Episode three. Couple live shows before that. Man, since the All Star break, I can't help but split. We've had a couple days in the negative, a couple days in the positive, only by a unit or two. Um, Yesterday, 4-4 parlay. From 2 days ago, we had missed a parlay. 3 days ago, we had hit a parlay. So can't get out of even. But I'd rather be even than down 6, 8, 10 units. So we'll take it. But today, hopefully, a really good day. Big slate. We'll go over the games here real quick. I think there was 13. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. I lied. There was 9. 9 games today. I've got 11 plays for us. Think I touched on 8 or 9 of the games. But yeah, excited for today's slate. 4-4 yesterday. Kyrie's assist we hit really easily. He had 9 assists. That was a good read on our part. Dame's assist, we had under 8.5. He only had 7. That was a good read. He had me worried. I think he had 5 in the first quarter, but then he cooled off. You could say it was a bad game by his standards. He had 25 and 7, but he's been on a crazy run. Anthony Edwards, the guest call in, the partner call in. We hit that really easily. I really liked that read, under 38.5. He only had 25. And then Jeremy Grant's rebounds we had hit. I think we hit that by just a rebound. He had 5. I think we had under 5.5 or 6.5. So those are the 4 we hit. Missed on Kyrie's points. Kind of an inefficient night for him. I thought he'd be more aggressive. He just wasn't. So bad read on my part. Could have been a better read because that followed into the Luka being more aggressive. So we also missed Luka's points. We had under 32.5. He finished with 39. We had a good number, so I'll live with the play. But we did miss that. Kuzma, we missed by a late 3. So we had under 25. He finished with 20. We had under 25 and a half. He finished with 28. Late 3 kind of killed me. That one, I think I'm going to start doing watch-alongs because I think that'd be really good content. That one missed. So unfortunately, even though it missed, it'd probably be good content. But the ones we hit, he misses a late 3, etc., etc. I really want to ride that. Ride those emotions with y'all, especially those that are tuning in daily. And then Pascal looked good. He started off with 2 quick assists. We had over 3.5. He finished with 3. So I don't like calling it a hook when it's you missed by a half a point, but it was 3. If you missed by 20 or more, or if it's a 20 or more total and you miss by a half, then you start talking hooks. So that's the recap. Let's get into today's episode. First play I like. You want to get the props.cash up on the screen? In the future, hopefully I've got something programmed to where you can see our own data. But right now I'll show you what we're using with props.cash until I can kind of give you my model without giving you my model. So starting off with Zach LaVine, we can look and see what he's done over the last 30. He's going over this 53% of the time, which doesn't sound real impressive. What caught my eye was first a model projection of 26.7. So we've got a pretty good edge based off of my model. And then not only is Detroit a bad defensive team, but also he's gone over this in both meetings against Detroit this year and 4 of the last 6 going back to last year. Not only that, but we all know, or we all think, DeMar's playing through a pretty strong quad injury. So Zach LaVine's been picking up the slack. And that's actually going to lead me right into my next play. We're going to go DeMar DeRozan over 4.5 assists. Nice. I did have that second on the list too. DeMar DeRozan over 4.5 assists. As you can see, he's been on if we get it to load. Been on kind of a tear lately, and I think it's just smart. He's a smart basketball player. He's doing the right thing. Can't get his shot as well. He can't create the same space, but he is still drawing that attention. So what is he doing? He's getting his teammates involved. He's gone over 5 in 8 of the last 10. And I want to say, looking at 20 games back, it was 30 games back. He's gone over in 70%. So really strong effort here in the second half of the season. This is a play that I'm really confident in. So we got second play, DeMar DeRozan over 4.5 assists, minus 130 is what I got there. Going into my next play, I honestly thought I wasn't going to touch this morning. I was going over it. It's Kevin Durant's first game in Phoenix. I don't really know I didn't know what to think of that game playing Charlotte, who just lost LaMelo Ball. You don't know what to think, but I think the tempo will be fast. Rozier on Chris Paul is probably going to be the matchup. So that leads me to my third play. CP3 over 8.5 assists. New weapon. He's going to look in Durant involved. My model projections before I even factored Durant into this were 9.3. So I know we're laying a little bit of juice here at minus 127. But I like this play a lot. Chris Paul over 8.5 assists, minus 127. I got that one at Caesar. So if we look here, we'll go ahead and since we're doing this, Chris Paul on the season, you see that Charlotte allows the second most assists per game. And now's not the time. All right, well, I can freelance this. DJ, you can just put it on me, yeah. So next play we're gonna do is Mikal Bridges over 20.5 points. Ever since he's been in Brooklyn, I think he's gone over this all but one or two of his games, and he's the main guy. Him and Spencer Dinwiddie are, I guess you could say co-main dudes, but Mikal Bridges has really stepped up, and I think he's the better scorer of the two. And I think Spencer does a good job of being a good teammate and letting Mikal get, enough good looks. So Mikal Bridges over 20.5 points. Brooklyn is a 7.5 point dog to the Knicks tonight. I don't think this is blowout material. Although I thought the Dallas game might be blowout material, and they actually lost by 2. So what do I know? But that being said, Mikal Bridges over 20.5 points for my fourth play of the day. Play number 5, we're sticking with that Knicks game. We're going to go Emmanuel Quickley over 12.5 points. Been on a tear the last 10, been on a tear the last 20. I think he's gone over this in about 70% over the last 20 games. And I think he's going to get a steady workload or a steady minutes tonight, what he's been seeing in that same amount of time. And even though Brooklyn has a good defensive team, I think Quickley still gets to this number pretty quickly. Same game, Josh Hart. Since he's been in New York, he's been on a tear. He's only not gotten 10 points, I think, in one game. Tonight he's going against Brooklyn, a decent defensive team, but I don't think they're going to stop him from getting good looks. And who knows how many minutes he's going to play. I think he at least gets 30 and could see more with Thibs. So Josh Hart over 9.5 points for play number 6. Sticking with the Knicks, a guy who I think is due for a bounce back game, went on a tear, kind of came back to reality, and I think tonight's a good night for him to get back. Jalen Brunson over 24.5 points. There are 120s out there. There are 25.5 05s. I would rather have the 24.5. So shop around. Jalen Brunson over 24.5. Bounce back game for him. Important spot for him, I think. So bounce back game for Brunson. Next. Oh, this one I think was a little inflated from his performance yesterday or the day before. James Wiseman's probably going to do a lot better in Detroit than he did in Golden State. But I like his under 13.5 here. Books were moving to 12.5, so I would grab this sooner than later. But I like Wiseman's under here. I think he's going to be a good player for Detroit. I just think 13.5 is too much. Probably model projections were 11.36, so that's where I'd put him, maybe 11.5. So good value here. I like this play. After Wiseman, we go Paolo Banchero. I know we got burnt. If it wasn't last night, it was the night before. Rookie wall. I said under 19 and a half, and he had 29. But Milwaukee's a much better defensive team coming off 15 or 16 wins in a row. He's going to be finding, I don't know, is he going to get Giannis? Is he going to get Middleton? Either way, it's a bad matchup for him. So, if he gets his normal amount of looks even, I think this goes under. That being said, blowout potential. Maybe you want to go take Orlando money line. I'm going to laugh if Orlando wins outright. But Milwaukee is an 8-9 point favorite, and I like Milwaukee to win this one. I think when I ran my model numbers this morning for sides and totals, I had them as about a 10-point favorite. Let me see where they opened. So they opened 8, 7.5 some places. So line's definitely gone that way. Take Paolo's under 19.5. And then last play for me tonight. All of them but one, right? Over there. Is that what you're seeing too? We've done them all but one. Not sure. Yeah. Brandon Ingram under 25.5. I'm pretty sure everything else I've gone over. If you haven't gotten 11, there will be a recap post with all 11 plays. But Brandon Ingram under 25.5. If I haven't given out CJ McCollum over 20.5, that might have been the one I missed, but yeah, I think so too. Brandon Ingram under 25.5. So this game is in Portland. CJ played the first, 8 years of his career, if not more, in Portland. And I'm not sure if he's played. I can't remember if he's played in there since, but when you play for someone for that long, or as dedicated as he was, there's going to be attention every time you come back. CJ's going to go off tonight. CJ's going to look to get Brandon Ingram, I think is going to be a good teammate. Get CJ involved tonight. So Ingram under 25.5 points. I searched around for a 26.5, couldn't find it. If you find a 26.5, like minus 120, 125, I like that better than 25.5, but I'm going to take personally a 25.5 minus 104. That's it for me. You should have 11 plays. I'm going to run through them all real quick right here with you. Zach LaVine over 24.5. James Wiseman under 13.5. Paolo Banchero under 19.5. Brandon Ingram under 25.5. CJ McCollum over 20.5. Mikal Bridges over 20.5. Jalen Brunson over 24.5. CP3 over 8.5 assists. DeMar DeRozan over 4.5 assists. Manuel Quickley over 12.5 points. Josh Hart over 9.5 points. That's what I got for today. Anybody that wants to call in or be a part of the show, feel free to DM me on Twitter, send me a message on YouTube, whatever you got to do. Anyone that goes, if you can, subscribe to our YouTube channel. It's FNF Network. Every subscription helps. I appreciate it if you can. And those that have been tuning in, just watching, I think we had 48 viewers last show, so I appreciate it. Hopefully, we get better information to you today. 11 plays, so there's a good slate. 4-4 yesterday, hopefully looking like 7-4 today. If we go 7-4, I'll be real happy. But that's the show. That's all for me. Thank you for joining, and we will see you tomorrow.